The film takes place in 2054, when the country is divided into two parts, the United States and Canada. One part is controlled by the government and one part is controlled by corporations. The people who live in this world are not free and there are many problems with their society. This film is full of action, suspense, drama and mystery. It is also very entertaining. You can tell that there was a lot of thought put into making this movie because it is so complex. There are many different elements that have been incorporated into its storyline and each one plays an important role in making the movie more interesting. The acting in this movie is great, especially from Tom Cruise, who plays Minority Report is a fast-paced, breathless, often violent futuristic action film. It's also a thinking person's movie and that's what makes this sci-fi action film different from most of its predecessors. The year is 2054 and the future is one where crime can be prevented before it even happens. In this world the Department of Pre-Crime has been established to stop murders before they happen. By using 3 precogs, people with special powers, who can see into the future, the department has managed to make Washington, D.C. murder-free for 6 years now. John Anderton, Tom Cruise, is part of pre-crime and he has made it his life's work to stop crimes before they happen. But one day something goes wrong when a precog has a vision that Anderton will commit a murder. Now he must go on the run to prove his innocence in a system where there isn't supposed to be any guilt. This film, based on Philip K. Dick's short story, is directed by Steven Spielberg, who produced last year's Artificial Intelligence, and was written by Scott Frank, Get Shorty, and John Cohen, Mercury Rising. These are all people who are used to making films that. Minority Report is a spectacular science fiction film, which carries a great message. It is set in the year 2054 and the story revolves around John Anderton, who is the chief of pre-crime unit. The unit arrests criminals based on the vision seen by 3 psychics called precogs. The story takes an unexpected turn when one day Anderton himself is shown to commit a murder in future by the precogs. Now, Anderton has to find out who this mysterious victim is, so that he could prove that precogs are wrong and he doesn't have to go through his crime. There are 3 precogs, Agatha, Samantha Morton, Arthur, Nick Drake, and Dashiell Dash, Paul Giamatti. Agatha is the strongest, while Arthur is weaker, but has flashes of insight beyond those of his siblings. Dash is the weakest of all. The 3 work together to see visions of murders that have not yet happened, which they then send to their handler, Wendy, Jessica Capshaw. From there, detectives John Anderton, Tom Cruise, and Danny Whitwer, Colin Farrell, investigate the crime scene for clues that may lead them to the perpetrator. Once the culprit is found and arrested, he or she is placed into a sort of suspended animation until trial, where a guilty verdict is always reached. Minority Report is a 2002 American neo-noir science fiction film directed by Steven Spielberg and loosely based on the short story of the same name by Philip K. Dick. It is set primarily in Washington, D.C., and Northern Virginia in the year 2054, where pre-crime, a specialized police department, apprehends criminals based on foreknowledge provided by 3 psychics called precogs. The cast includes Tom Cruise as pre-crime Captain John Anderton, Colin Farrell as Department of Justice Agent Danny Whitwer, Samantha Morton as the senior precog Agatha, Neil McDonough as Anderton's former partner Fletcher, and Lois Smith as the inventor of pre-crime technology Dr. Iris Heinemann. The film's central theme is the question of free will versus determinism. It examines whether free will can exist if the future is set and known in advance. The movie takes place in 2054, when murder has been outlawed in Washington, D.C., and police use high technology to detect premeditated crimes before they happen. The pre-crime unit gets its information from 3 precogs, mutants who predict murders before they occur. If a murder is going to take place, holographic images of the victims and the killer are recorded on futuristic video screens in the pre-crime unit's offices. If those images show you killing someone, then you're guilty, even if you haven't actually done it yet. You're sentenced to a prison where your crime is replayed for you over and over again until you die of guilt. The movie stars Tom Cruise as John Anderton, head of pre-crime. He's a brilliant cop with a tragic past, a son who was kidnapped 6 years ago by someone who never faced justice because he couldn't be detected by the precogs. The precogs have never been wrong.